Hello ladies and gentlemen, how's it going? This is the Assassination Classroom discussion video, so it's not a review. I'm not labeling this as a review because, as always, I always like to do discussions right after I finish the series, and, in a review, you make it professional, you make lots of different points to talk about. This can be just me ranting on, talking about stuff, and sneezing in the middle of the video. But let's get started. So, the series. Definitely a good series. Not gonna lie. When I first got into the series, it was actually completely random at first. I was looking through the anime list, and then I just found this. Just decided to watch it. Looked at the summary, and then boom, first episode, not too bad. Second episode, pretty cool. I like the concept of a classroom needing to assassinate their teacher. And when I first read the summary, I was like, that's odd. Why would they assassinate their teacher? And then after finding out that, if they don't kill him, the world ends, then it's kind of like, oh, okay, this makes everything. It makes sense now. And, through a kind of complex storyline, with different character backgrounds, it becomes quite intense very quickly, and there's a bunch of stuff that goes on, and interesting lessons that can be learned from the series, and a bunch of other stuff. So let's get to it, guys. I'm going to break this down into a few different parts. A few different parts will be the plot, the characters, overall ambience, aka how it's animated, like the background and the soundtracks, overall thoughts, my food for thought. I'll write this. I probably could have done it before, but we're gonna do it just as we finish this series. I just finished it, I stopped recording the other video like a minute ago, literally. So now the plot is very, very interesting. Now I'm assuming you guys have already watched Assassination Classroom if you're watching this video. If you have not watched it, then I suggest you do, because it's really awesome. It really is. And so Assassination Classroom, the plot. Now obviously when we start from season 1, things are kind of quiet. Obviously they were establishing things, so at the same time it was kind of intense. So I guess I just contradicted myself right over here. But quite a bit happens in season 1 in terms of first term with the exams, and then obviously all the students progressively becoming stronger through the training that Kurasama is giving them. Obviously they're not their teacher, but yeah, I guess you could say they're mentors. So yeah, to be fair, they're mentor. So they become stronger, they try to kill Koro-sensei, a bunch of different methods. We get to see this very clearly in season 1. And a bunch of stuff arise, a bunch of problems, conflicts here and there. And in season 2, a lot more flashbacks, learning a bit more about each character's past here and there. A bunch of other stuff happening. Then the whole showdown for Koro-sensei happens. Then Nagisa kills Koro-sensei. And then we go into the future of all the characters in the last episode. This is more, just, I guess you could say reiterating everything that's, that's happened in this series. So, I like the plot. Definitely interesting. There was a point in the show where I was going to drop my rating significantly for the overall rating for the show. I was like, I think I'm going to give this show a 7.5 out of 10 as an overall rating. There was a point in the show, I think it was maybe some point during the first season or halfway through the second season, where I was like, I don't know what I want to give as a rating for this show, an overall rating. For sure it's good, but compared to Death Note, compared to Parasite, compared to Danchikoku and Ninjutsu, Toradora, Avatar, all these great series, how does Assassination Classroom compare to these series? And I'm gonna go back to this a few times later on into the video. How does Assassination Classroom compare with all these giant series that are awesome and all have things that make them so unique and powerful and extremely good in conveying their message, or conveying, I guess you could say, the interest that they want the audience to have to the series? So I had to pay more attention, I guess you could say more closely to how the series was done while I was watching it. So later on, after thinking this, the future episodes that I was watching, I was paying more attention to everything that was happening. I guess you could say observing more how it was done, and just trying to, like, not write down, but like mentally take note of everything that's happening throughout the series, so I can see how does it stand versus all the other series. I mean, Death Note has that crazy psychological factor, and like everything's kind of set up like a chess game. It's all really well done. There's a Death Note, there's extra things and twists and turns happening there, and everything's super crazy. Avatar has the action, it has the romance, really cut down low, just to like a nice simmer, and it's not like too much and it's not too little kind of thing, and a bunch of other stuff happening, the great villains in it. And then we have Denshi Kokusen and Nichiju, funniest comedy anime ever. I mean, it doesn't stand up as much as like these other series, but it's still a really good series nonetheless. And then we have Parasite, really, really good, another psychological, which really tests human knowledge on a lot of different things, actually, and really interesting when it comes to a bunch of different stuff. And then a bunch of other series that I have on my anime list, if you're curious, that I've rated pretty high. So how does this compete? And this goes to my next point. Well, I'm gonna merge both points here, the plot and the characters, where the plot was well thought out, it was well done. We obviously had a few filler episodes that actually helped deepen the story and deepen our feeling of like loving the characters and shipping the character relationships, if you know what I mean, throughout the series, where we have characters hanging out doing normal stuff. That's good, strengthens the character bonds. And it's the same exact thing with Koro Sensei. They're hanging out with him. Filler episode, things are fun. That's good. But to a certain extent, the filler episodes still are part of what the end product is. It's like they're with Koro Sensei, but in the end they have to kill him. But it's like they're thinking of the good times from those filler episodes to kill him. Like, let's just say we go to the beach and now you have to kill me. Okay, well, now you're gonna kill me, but there was a time we went for a photo shoot, and then there's a time we went to the beach. So like a lot of series, they don't have filler episodes that participate into like other parts of the story. Whereas Assassination Classroom, in the end, it felt like the fillers helped lead up to this moment, because if there weren't the fillers, then I feel like we wouldn't feel that bad about Kuro Sensei dying, and feeling bad for all the characters. So I think the fillers really helped the series a lot, especially plot wise, because it added a lot to what's happening. And a lot of series, when you add fillers, it's good, but it can be a really bad setback for a lot of series. And I've seen that happen with quite a few animes that I've watched recently, and it's dangerous to play with fillers. You can't put too much and too little. I mean, it really depends. And for Assassination Classroom, like even a too little or too many, like whichever one you choose, it still participated with the end product. Even if you were watching midway and you're like, it might feel pointless, but at the same time, like there was still stuff going on in the fillers that were interesting. And for the main episodes, I guess you could say the canon episodes, the ones that were participating in the main storyline of, Kuro Sensei needing to die, and, the classroom, improving and having to kill him, they were still all interesting. Like, they were just going through the plot normally. And you obviously had different people like Reaper, you had Itana, you had the white robed guy that I forgot his name, that starts with like a U, I think. We also had Kayano, and then we also had the sniper guy. We had a few other people. There was a guy at the end of season 1, which that was pretty extreme. That was pretty awesome too. So we had a lot of different people try to kill Kuro Sensei. So that was the main plot. Like, these things were still going with the fillers, and everything was merged together nicely. Because at the end, all these things kind of made up the end. It's not like the fillers were like aimlessly there. Like, hey, this is an ecchi anime, in harem anime. Let's just go to the beach. And by the end of the series, like that episode would have been pointless, pretty much. You know what I mean? So, but compared to Assassination Classroom, like I was saying, all of these kind of participated with everything that kind of leads up to the end. At least that's what I felt, because this is really opinion based when it comes to like a discussion video. So if you guys want to discuss and you want to debate, feel free to leave a comment, and we can always have fun with a nice little debate. But yeah, so that's it for that part. In general, the story was really good. Nothing to complain about it. Really, really, really good. And I think what we'll do is we'll rate out of the 5 things I'll be talking about: the plot, characters, the overall ambience, and overall thought. And my food for thought will count out. I'll try to rate each separate thing as like out of 10. So for the plot, I'm going to rate it 9.8. Really, really good. Actually, yeah, I would probably even give it a 9.9, but I think we're going to stick to a 9.8 realistically. Really, really, really good. I've been watching a lot of series. So 9.8 for the plot. Really, really, really good. No complaints there. And they did everything really well. That, everything kind of participated with one another. Again, in my opinion. And then now we're going to go to the characters, which we're still going to talk probably a bit about the plot. So, they did a really good job of showing... I'm trying to think of it. I guess not... Yeah, okay. They did a really good job of showing you or displaying you the characters. Each one's like unique abilities and how they can participate in the assassination of Koro Sensei. We've got a sniper, we've got like a marksman, we've got someone who's really good in hand-to-hand combat, we've got someone who's good with sneak attacks, we got someone who's good with chemistry, we got another smart guy here, we got someone that's good with technology, another person that can shoot 1,000,000 guns a second, aka Ritsu. And not only this, but we see the flashbacks of all these characters, their problems, what led them to Class 3E, what they want to achieve, what do they want to become, and you get an overall good feeling with the characters. You know why they're here, you know what their motives are, and there's nothing that feels empty about the characters. They feel like people that you can relate to, probably people that you can talk to. They don't feel like empty, careless characters that are empty and we don't have no information about. And if you've watched quite a few anime or cartoon series or any kind of series in general, you know that this is very, very possible. It's a reality in some shows where a lot of characters, actually it's even more common that it's only centered on one main character and all the other characters don't matter at all, and we don't know anything about them, only about the main character, which could be good, but it can also be extremely bad. It's like a double-edged sword. So, with that being said, Assassination Classroom did a really good job of giving you a feel for all the characters that were in the series. Like, I can't complain about that. Like, even Professor Bitch, we even got backstory on her, and for sure, she's part of the team, but she's not as important as, like, Nagisa, Karma, and like 1,000,000 other people, Rio and Ritsu, and then Terasuka, and yeah, a bunch of other characters. So we even got backstory on her, and even on the Reaper, we still got backstory on him with Koro Sensei. That was another good thing right there too. So we know why he's doing it. We even know why the white-robed guy is doing his own thing, and we even know why Itana has his own motives for trying to go after Koro Sensei. This meaning that everything was backed up beforehand, and there's not really any plot holes that can be pretty common in most series. Now, I'm not trying to be biased and saying other series are crap, but it's true. A lot of series, and this is a problem, has plot holes. It's very possible this one might, but I'm talking more character-wise, where everything is backed up to the point where it's like they feel like believable, realistic characters. And that's true, 100%, no complaints there. Where, yeah, like I said, they have their reasons, their motives, their goals, their regrets, their passions. I mean, No complaints there. The variety of characters is phenomenal. I can't talk today. It's 4 a.m, guys. Phenomenal. Yeah. Did I spell that? Did I say that right? I don't know. But anyways, it was amazing. You know, we had characters like, let's just say, different weight, different sizes, different height. You know, different genders, different hair, different eyes, different nose. Like the animated style for the characters are different. All their eyes aren't the same, all their noses aren't the same, all their mouths aren't the same. The same with their face shapes, their body shapes, their leg shapes, the clothing they wear. They're not, well, other than the uniform. I mean, that's the thing. It's the variety of characters that makes this extremely interesting, because you can tell that it's good quality. It's, yeah, good quality basically. So yeah, that's it for that part with the characters. And with the plot, where with the characters, they're so backed up so well that it goes well with the plot too. And the same thing with the fillers, you know, developing characters here and there, slowly but surely, but it's more participating towards the end of the show, where it does quite a bit of damage to your feels. Yeah. So the overall ambience of the show, aka, you know, the animation in the background while there was something happening, all the other stuff that's like a bit more behind the scenes, including soundtracks and, you know, how it was animated. So like I was talking about it being animated, well, before that, actually, for the characters, I'm going to give it a 10 out of 10 for the characters. So 9.8 for the plot and 10 out of 10 for the characters. Overall ambience and the whole animation and the OST. So like I said, animations were done really, really well. Everything from the battle scenes to, you know, the characters and the variety of stuff, like I mentioned before, and these things I'm always going to bring back up, where you saw so many different like styles of drawing in one show. You didn't see characters with the same eyes, same mouth, noses, same hair. You know, they were all kind of different here. You know, I won't say necessarily in style, that might not be true, but in look. And the overall ambience of the show, like the setting, I guess you could call this the setting, the show setup, was really, really interesting. No complaints there, especially with establishing the fact that Koro Sensei is going to destroy the Earth by the time the Class 3 graduates. That was really well done, and that got me hyped. If they didn't establish that as quick as possible, I might have never watched the show. I'll be honest. Because for me, just seeing kids trying to kill a teacher, like, okay, as a summary, that's kind of odd. But if they didn't establish that fact in the beginning of the show, I probably would have dropped after, like, the second episode. I mean, for sure there was the humor that pulled me into it, like, later on, but still, you know, when they established that, I was like, okay, this is a series that I want to continue watching. I want to see what happens. And this is the thing that's like, it's creative thinking. When the guy came up with the series, he's like, okay, this is good. This is good. I'm sure when you bring it up to like an editor or like the editor of whatever like publishing company, he's like, okay, so what's up with this? Why are you bringing up some manga to me or series about like children trying to kill a teacher? And he mentions this, and it's like, okay, there you go, into an anime. So, anyways, let's go off the whole. We got sidetracked a bit here with the whole like other situation. So they established that really well, and it got me pulled into the series. And then with the setting again, it was really controlled well when things were serious and when there was the humor side of things. You know, like the whole Valentine's Day kind of episode at episode 20 of season 2 was really cool and well done. We even had the beach episodes with also the sniper when they were taking the tours on the bus and that was going over the lake. And like pretty much a bunch of other stuff. Like they just timed it well, and I won't say there's anything badly timed about it. And it's possible. I haven't really seen it. This is something I haven't seen that much, but where they badly time things and how they don't switch properly between like humor and violence and horror and like something that gets you thinking, a bunch of other stuff and themes. Some series can probably screw that up, but I haven't really seen it, considering pretty much all the shows I've watched are really surprisingly, amazingly good. But I'm curious for whichever show's going to screw that up. That's going to be interesting to see. So you did that well, controlling, like, what's happening at what time, what are we as a viewer supposed to feel at this moment, and you do that properly. It's not like you're supposed to laugh and then you're supposed to be confused. It's like, no, you're gonna laugh and then right after something serious happens and you're gonna feel the seriousness, but you won't get confused with something else, because it's possible, like in a series where the way it goes, it might give you like two different things there, and you don't really understand, where they really establish a setting perfectly. They make it clear. I guess that's going to be a more simple word to use, where they made everything clear at certain points of the show. When there was a fight and it got serious, it was the fight that everything was focused on. Not something silly. You get what I mean, hopefully. I think you guys can hear the crickets outside. That's how silent the video is without music or something like that. So, and the OST was pretty rockin' awesome. I liked it. It was cool. And this is part of the whole ambience setting part. Really interesting, the variety that the OST offered. In the beginning, I didn't pay that much attention to the OST. It was only towards the second half of season 1 and through the duration of season 2 that was well done. And they had some really interesting themes. One of my favorite themes, it's not here, I bookmarked it. I think it was season 2, the second OST. That was pretty interesting. And then there was a few others that really had their own spark, and they really made the show stand out. I'm sure the OST played quite a significant role in pumping us up, which some OSTs they screw up, and some animes don't screw this up, and they help like make the anime 10 times better, literally. Like I think animes that don't pay attention to OSTs can fail because of that. Literally, it's like, think of Shokugeki no Soma, for example. I mean, I think even without the OSTs, they'd be fine. But the fact that the soundtrack so well, it's like ridiculously amazing. It really is. And then, so the soundtracks were awesome. Nothing to complain about that. Is it the best soundtrack I've heard? I mean, I've heard some amazing soundtracks, like Death Note has very interesting themes and soundtracks in it. And same thing with Parasite. But Parasite only had a few that stood out. And I know I'm going on a comparison kind of rant here, but just giving you guys an overall idea of how it does in comparison to other series, and if it compares to be that high of an anime, or something that's more like normal everyday anime in the mainstream anime media, or is it something that needs to be like something that like stands out and to be like at the top there, like the Generation of Miracles and Kuroko no Basket? Like, is it one of those worthy kind of like series kind of thing there? And talking about that, we're gonna go into overall thoughts. So for the setting and the OSTs, I'm going to give it, so we gave 9.8 10. So I'm going to give it a 9 for the setting and the OSTs. Yeah, I think I'll give it a 9. I'm debating 8.9 or 9. I'll get back to you guys on that in a second. So for my overall thought, and like I was mentioning like a second ago, Kuroko no Basket, they added the reference. They did. Season 2, episode 11, I think. It was something like that. Episode 11, episode 10. I think it was episode 11. Where they added that. They added Shokugeki no Soma. Well, they didn't add it directly. It was more like indirectly. Like, oh yeah, that one food anime, right? And they were breaking the fourth wall. And then there was Tarasuke, I think, right? Oh man, he said something before. I can't remember what it was. It was towards the end of the second season, like what I watched tonight. And yeah, so now to the overall thought part. But I like the reference. Oh, in One Piece, and there was a few other series that they referenced throughout the series. So that was pretty cool to see references. I liked it. It was really, really cool. Added a bit to the lightheartedness feel of the anime at certain points. The light key points, I guess you could say. But yeah, so overall thought. Everything was well done. They knew when to do stuff and how they were supposed to do it. Everything was executed pretty much perfectly. I'm not going to complain. If I had, yeah. So overall thought, I mean, good anime. Really is. No complaints. So for the setting and the ambience and the OST, you know, the OST I'm leaning towards 9, but with the setting I'm leaning towards 8.9. Yeah. I think I'm going to leave it at that for that part. So, overall thought, like I said, great series in general, nothing to complain. We also had the principal, who was crazy. Yeah, super crazy. Overall thoughts. So, I'm trying to think, like, how am I going to explain this? I guess overall thoughts going to be the whole series. I mean, I liked everything about it. You guys saw my reactions, and, like, some of the videos I was commenting was ridiculous. I was just like, I can't take this anymore. I needed, like, a 5-second pause to, like, control myself, because it's, like, the epicness is too much. The fight scenes were pretty awesome. That was another thing that was really, really awesome about the show. Some of the fight scenes were really awesome. Karma versus Nagisa. Karma versus that knuckle dude. I don't remember his name. And when he sprayed him, and then like Karma sprayed him back because, you know, Karma played a little dirty trick on him too. That was pretty cool. So for the show in general, this is probably going to be around the end. Actually, I'll go to the last point before I get to that, actually. I mean, this is a discussion video, so no shots fired, hopefully. So my food for thought and some of the things that they could have worked on better. I mean, things they could have worked on better. I can't really think of anything. I'd have to re-watch the show and pay attention more closely to be able to give you a definite answer for that. You know, things that they did bad. I mean, like I mentioned, the plot and the characters are great. No complaints about that. Although the plot is kind of something you don't really expect from an anime or manga. You know, it's really original in its own way. So at the same time, it still feels kind of unique, but also weird at the same time, if you get what I mean. You know, like, okay, tentacles and this and that, and injecting and like getting powers kind of thing. It's kind of like, okay. I'm not saying it's a bad thing. I'm not saying it's a bad thing. It's like, it's unique in its own way because of this. And, yeah. So, I think that's pretty much it. The overall rating for Assassination Classroom is, drumroll please, 9.6 out of 10. Good series. I liked it. I hope you guys enjoyed it too. And, yeah, as always, I'll see you guys in the next video. And all you guys have yourselves a fantastic day. As always, it was fun watching this. I hope you guys enjoyed the journey and the hype train for Assassination Classroom. I'm disappointed that it's done now. They should make like a second series where it's like through Nagisa's like life, like after season 2. Season 2, the ending though was pretty awesome. Like the ending with Nagisa and that student. Oh man. That was pretty awesome. I knew it was coming, like, just as he was, like, walking up to her. Yeah, okay, I'm just gonna stop recording now.